Okay, so I am heading into day 14 stories in my album here, and there's really just kind of one story to tell today, and it's really just about spending the day. It was a nice, lovely, calm, peaceful Saturday at home in December, where the only thing on my to-do list was to just kind of hang out on the couch watching Christmas movies for the day and resting and recovering. Still wasn't really feeling all that great at that time. So I don't have a ton of photos to choose from, but this one in particular I feel like really captures the kind of the feeling of the day. It's this perfect combination of chaos and calm, if that makes any sense at all. I love the fact that I've got a picture of my son kind of just doing his thing in his own little element there, hanging out on his iPad, and the cat hanging out on the kitty tower watching the snow falling outside. And then there's a little glimpse of the movie that was from Miracle on 34th Street that I was watching during the day. And like we had kind of just started getting stuff out and about, so the stockings are up, but they have tags all over them still, and all the bins are still there from the Christmas decorations, and it's this crazy little mix of chaos and calm all at the same time. So I feel like in a way this picture on its own could tell a story about the day, but I have a couple of other things in mind to help enhance it just a little bit. My plan is to stretch this photo across the entire spread of the album outside the page protector. So that means that when you put these two together, they are 14 inches wide and 8.25 inches tall. I do my printing at home, and it's something that has really helped me. I think I've pretty much always printed my photos from home as a scrapbooker. So I put together a quick tutorial about how to print these oversized photos from home. You do not need a large format printer to do this. You can do this on your standard size printer. So let's pop on over to my computer and I'll share some tips about how to do that.
I thought it might be helpful to take a minute and just show you quickly how I print my oversized and enlarged photos. For the 6x8 album, if I want a full spread photo, which means it spans both sides of the page, so it's going to be 14 inches wide and 8.25 inches tall, I need to split that up into two parts. Now, the printer that I have at home is like a large format printer, but I actually don't often use that feature on it, mainly because I don't easily have access to the 13 by 19 photo paper in order to print those really big photos. So that means that I need to be able to get creative in printing on 8.5 by 11 regular letter size paper. So I think that this might be helpful for people who don't have a large format printer for themselves as well. So this is the photo that I want to include on my day 14, and it's just like this chaotic mess, but it's also a picture about just not really doing anything, and that kind of sums up the day. Recovering from an infection and hanging out on the couch and watching movies all day long was pretty much the story of the day. So I want to take this photo and make it one of these enlarged 2-page full spread pictures to fit inside my album for the story of day 14. So I'm working in Photoshop Elements again, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new canvas that is going to be the size that I'm talking about here. So it's going to be 14 inches wide and 8.25 inches tall, because this is going to live on the outside of the page protector. So it's going to be bigger than the standard 6x8. The outside edges of the page protector are sized to be about 7 inches wide and 8.25 inches tall. So if I'm going to double that up, then I need to make it 14 inches wide. So I'm creating this canvas size right here. And this is going to be the shape of that photo. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the picture that I want to fill in this space. And it means that some of it is going to be cropped a little bit, and that's totally okay, because there we go. So I'm just going to shuffle it up a little bit to where I want the photo to be. And I think probably debating in around here. I'm not sure if it's important to me to capture the image what's on the screen of the TV, because we were watching Miracle on 34th Street and the cat's sleeping on his kitty tower and Liam's kind of distracted with something on his iPad. I think I like it there. I'm going to crop it right about there. Now, I want to be mindful of where the middle of this is going to be so that I know where the cut is going to happen, I guess, down the middle. And in order to be able to see that, I'm going to go up here and click View because I want to create a guide. So I'm going to say a new guide. And I want a vertical guide that happens at the 7-inch mark so I know where the middle split is. And I think that works. I'm not cutting off anybody critical. When I punch the holes, I think Pete's head should be okay, but just to be safe, I might actually expand this just a little bit bigger to make sure that we don't chop off his furry little face. Okay, there we go. So this is going to be kind of the setup for my photo. Once I print it out, it should take up both sides of the page. Now, in order to print it, I need to split this up into two, and that's again why the guide is helpful, so I know where the middle is. I'm going to go ahead and grab my crop tool, and I'm going to set this as a predefined size of 7 inches wide by 8.25 inches tall with a resolution of 300 pixels per inch for the print quality. And I'm going to go ahead and just pop it right there on the left-hand side of the photo. There's my first. So I'm going to, again, create a new canvas here for myself so that I can print it onto 8.5 by 11 paper. This step isn't necessarily required, but I like to do this because oftentimes when I can, I will add other photos onto the canvas to print at the same time so I can kind of save the paper. So like over here, I could fit in 2 3x4 photos if I wanted to print it all on the same page and then just crop them out. So there's the first one, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the second half ready to print here. So I'm going to go back to my photo again. I'm going to undo that original crop. This is something that I keep the history window open because it allows me to back up a step really easily. So if you want the history window showing in your Elements workspace, you just go up to Window and make sure that there's a check mark beside the one that says History, and it'll pop up there for you. Also, very helpful little tip I find. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the crop tool and crop the second half of this page. And I'm going to cancel this for just a second because I didn't adjust the size first. It needs to be 7 inches wide, 8.25 inches tall, and a resolution of 300. And I'm going to just exit here. That looks about right. And this is going to be the right half of my page. And click and drag that up there. And I will send each of these pages individually through to my printer and then crop them out and go ahead and punch the holes in them to put them in my spread. The other thing that I do, I just thought while I'm in here quickly, I'll show you how I print my 3x4 photos because again, I like to try to print 2 of them onto a 4x6 page and then just cut them in half so I can get as much use out of the paper as I can. So I've created a new canvas here that is 4x6, and the photos, when I take them with my phone, are already usually sized to be like the right proportions for a 3x4 photo. They don't require any cropping. So I can just click and drag them from the project bin at the bottom up onto the 4x6 canvas. And they are already automatically sized that way to the 3x4 size, and I can just send this through to my printer and it'll print a 4x6 that has 2 3x4 photos on it. So hopefully that is helpful for some of you guys out there. Thanks.
Now, the second part of this story, I have got a couple of these instax photos, and they were on my computer, and I just sent them to my instax printer, and I really like the size of them. My intention is to take this 3x8 transparency that says Simple Joys of Holidays at Home and create an insert by combining it with just 1/2 of this Instax page protector. And I'm going to kind of like trim it down so it's all the same size so that it creates an insert to go in between these two large photos. The other thing is that when I printed them on my Instax printer, this is something I sometimes struggle with, is that although I love the Instax photos, sometimes the colors just don't come out the way that I hope that they would. And this one, I love this one. The black and white turned out really good. But there are some of the other ones where you kind of actually lose the subject matter of the photo. So I kind of prepared a backup option for myself, and I just went ahead and made myself a template and put the photos in to the template so that it's kind of like a custom or a DIY instax type image, I guess, or instax print, even though it's just printed from my regular computer. So I'm thinking that I may cut these out and use these instead of the actual instax photos themselves. Not 100% sure yet. I'm gonna think that one through. The other thing I have is I've taken a digital version of one of the 4x6 journaling cards from the it's not a journaling card, 4x6 tags from the 2019 release and added my journaling onto it. And I'm gonna just tuck that on the inside of this page over here. So I'm going to get started on assembling. I think I'm just gonna start with the background and cropping these pieces out, and welcome. Okay, so I'm going to get started on assembling this insert to go in between the two pages. And like I said, I've got a page protector from Citrus Twist. This is like the Instax size page protector, and I want to combine it with this 3x8 transparency that says Simple Joys of Holidays at Home. My plan, I hope this works, I don't know for sure if it will, is to cut off this side that has got the holes on it, and also cut off the outside the seamed edge on the right hand side, because I really just want these two pockets here. What I think I'm going to do is try to use some of this super skinny 1/8 of an inch red line tape and run it right along the edge of the transparency to attach the page protector onto. And then I'm considering adding like a decorative trim to that seam as well, because I have some of this small pom-pom trim still, and I think that that would just be really cute to have kind of a little extra something on there. So I think I'm gonna start by trimming the excess off of this page protector and then try to attach these pieces together. The other thing is I will probably am going to try to run this through my sewing machine in addition to the red line tape, just to give it a little bit more of a secure attachment there. Okay, I think that worked out really well actually. I like how that looks. Before I start attaching other stuff onto here, I just want to make sure that I get my photos in place first, just to help make sure that they fit, everything fits in there still, before I make it a permanent connection there. So I'm trying to decide how, I really like the look of this. I think that this is super cute and I'm gonna do it for sure. I'm just trying to decide what the best way is going to be to attach it. I am thinking that it might be okay with just some of the tape, and I'm gonna give it a shot and then see kind of how secure it is. And fingers crossed that this is gonna work out. So yeah, it's attached on there pretty securely. I just tried to lift it, and the only way it comes up is if like the whole entire thing comes apart. So I think that it's probably secure. I might have pulled it a little bit too tight when I was attaching it, because I can see that there's almost like a bend or a bow that wants to happen on the transparency there. But it's nothing like unworkable. Okay. So let's take a look at how this is coming together over here. I think I'm going to pop it into my album so I can get a better idea of what this is going to look like. Okay, I am thinking that I will probably add an index tab onto the right hand side here, and then flipping it over, there's the back. Okay, so the other thing I have done is I've gone ahead and printed up my journaling. I mentioned this back at the beginning of the video here. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out, and my intention is to add a little pocket right on top of the photo in this lower right hand corner here to tuck this journaling tag into. I think I will probably see if I can make use of some of that leftover page protector that I just cut off. It's between that or making like a little vellum pocket. Okay, so here's that extra leftover bit of page protector, and I will add some stitching onto the one side to make sure that it's secure on the three sides there. I also have some ribbon I can tie through the top. I think I'd like something a little bit wider than the red there, but not too wide. I'm not sure if this one might be too wide, but let's give it a shot and see. Actually, I think that works. I've just threaded it through there. I'm going to use my tiny attacher to secure the ribbon at the top. Shorten up these tabs a little bit here. One. Okay. I'm not sure if that's part of the picture. Nope, I think it's just leftover red line tape. Whoops. Okay, I'm gonna go create a seal. I'll be right back. Okay, I have run the plastic through my sewing machine to stitch that edge shut, and the tag still fits. Woohoo, we're in luck. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach that down to the page there, probably with some of the red line tape again so that it sticks really well. Sometimes I find it to be a little bit tricky to get the adhesive from my usual tape roller to stick onto the plastic because the backing is a bit slippery, but the red line tape works really well. So that's a good alternative if you find yourself in the same situation. I like having the clear plastic pocket directly on top of the photo instead of making it like out of paper or something less transparent, because then you still get the effect of being able to see the photo all the way through. When you take out the tag, you can still see the whole picture, and I really like that. So that is going to tuck into there. Now, the other thing I was considering was if I wanted to add any other little like embellishments onto these instax photos. So I am still gonna go grab one of those index tabs for sure. But I have got some of the die cuts here, like from, I believe they're from an assortment of places. I think these ones are mostly from the Feed Your Craft release, which would mean that the products were designed by Jerry Tsai. And so, for instance, this photo is of Liam working on his craft, and you can actually see his little Elfie in there too. So I think that I really like the idea of doing this elf approved one. And I'm going to stick that just on the front there. There we go. I like that. And then I've got like just the holly. I think that might actually kind of be enough for the front. I don't know. I also have a felt heart that I grabbed from, I believe it was the Cozy Story Kit that was released. I like being able to carry the green through. I think that works well. Just not 100% sure if I'm going to use it or not. I kind of feel like the left-hand side could use a little something. Nope, I think I'm going to leave that. And then on the flip side here, got December details, which would work well as a flag up top. I'm going to say yes to that. And then I have got this little heart. This I think was included with the December Daily 2019 kit. And I think I'm going to go ahead and tuck that right on there because I really like that picture. I do still have this one, which could look cute on the outer edge. I still can't decide. I'm just going to leave it. I think it's easier to add stuff later than it is to remove it later. So I think that for now I'm just going to leave it. But I am going to fix this because I noticed it wasn't all that straight. Okay, I could also put something on the front of the pocket. But sometimes less is more. I'm just going to leave it alone. The only other thing I'm going to do here is add an index tab to the outer edge of this page. And then I think I am comfortable with calling it done. Okay, so it turns out I'm not completely done. Here is what I'm considering. I love the transparency, but when you're looking through it, you can't actually see what it says. It gets lost in the red that's in the background of the photo. So then I considered, what if I just layer a little bit of vellum behind it, and then you can see it clearly, but it still has the transparent feel to it because I can see through to the photo on the backhand side still. So I have this leftover scrap of vellum from my day 13 plan or attempt, and I think I am going to go ahead and attach that onto the back of this transparency here so that we'll be able to see it more clearly. We can see the sentiment more clearly when it's all done. And again, the challenge is just to figure out what am I going to use to attach it with, because I know most things show up through the vellum and I don't have any of the special vellum adhesive. So I think I'm going to go back with the tape again. Go back with the red line tape and just run a strip of it on the back side here of the transparency and hope that I don't ruin it. There to there. And then because the other side is going to get the holes punched in it anyway, that's pretty much going to keep it secure on the other side. So I'm not too worried about that. I'll go ahead and peel this down. Oh, I just ripped my whole piece of tape off. Well, that was counterproductive. Okay, let's try this again. Put that down from end to end. And peel off just the backing this time around. There we go. Nope, having trouble getting it to stick. Okay. Okay, I've got it right that time. Okay, so that's down on there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pop the vellum in place and run it through my page trimmer to get off the extra bits here. Nice straight edge. Okay, grab the hole punch. And let's tuck this back in here. Okay, and then I took a quick peek through my stamps. I've got lots and lots of December type stamps, and this is one of the sets that I pulled out. And it has one on here that says peace and joy, and that's the sentiment that I was looking for to describe this day. So I'm going to go ahead and just stamp the same thing on both sides of the index tab insert.